Angel Reese just experienced the absolute most agonizing, humiliating, and psychologically draining 48 hours of her entire professional career. And the most terrifying part of this entire ordeal is that it had absolutely nothing to do with the Atlanta Dream's official regular season record. We have officially reached an unprecedented, paradigm-shifting era in sports entertainment, where the drama, the rivalries, and the psychological warfare of the Women's National Basketball Association have violently spilled over into the mainstream. Over the course of a single weekend, Angel Reese was systematically dismantled and exposed on the basketball court by a sophomore rival, and then, as if the physical humiliation was not enough, her personal life was weaponized to inflict maximum psychological damage during a high-stakes National Basketball Association Game 7. She is getting hit from every conceivable direction right now. The internet is absolutely merciless, and the regular season has not even officially tipped off yet. Welcome back to WNBA Pro, the only channel that completely ignores the mainstream media fluff and surgically dissects the harsh, uncompromising reality of professional basketball. Today, we are breaking down the viral block that shattered the internet, the brilliant, tactical masterclass used to completely expose Reese's offensive limitations, and the epic, ruthless troll job by 20,000 Detroit Pistons fans that turned a WNBA superstar's dating life into a national television spectacle.
Angel Reese and Kiki Iriafen, every time these two ladies face off, there seems to be some bad blood in the air. There seems to be some tension between the two. Those two faced off in USA camp, Kiki Iriafen taking it right to Angel Reese's chest, knocking her over. Yesterday, they went head-to-head in the preseason. Kiki Iriafen saying, "Get that weak stuff out of here." Angel Reese giving her the eyes. Okay.
Let us start with the absolute chaos that unfolded off the court, because what happened inside Little Caesars Arena on Sunday night is something we have literally never seen before in the history of professional sports. The Detroit Pistons were hosting the Orlando Magic in a brutal win-or-go-home Game 7 playoff elimination matchup. On the floor, you had Jalen Duren representing the Pistons and Wendell Carter Jr. representing the Magic. If you are not completely caught up on the pop culture universe surrounding the WNBA, let me explicitly connect those dots for you. Jalen Duren is Angel Reese's highly publicized ex-boyfriend. Wendell Carter Jr. is her current boyfriend. So when the Pistons and the Magic collided in the most important game of their season, that messy, highly public love triangle was sitting right there on a silver platter for 20,000 ruthless Detroit fans to actively exploit. And exploit it, they did. During every single dead ball, during every single timeout, and while Carter was standing at the free throw line, the entire arena chanted Angel Reese in complete, deafening unison. 20,000 people screaming the name of his current girlfriend, who used to date the massive center, actively dominating him on the other side of the floor. It was an epic, calculated, and ruthlessly effective psychological troll job. The Pistons ended up blowing out the Magic 116-94, completely eliminating Carter from the playoffs, and the chants mercilessly echoed through the fourth quarter. The message from Detroit was crystal clear. In the playoffs, your dating history is fair game. Angel Reese, who was not even in the building, became the most talked about person in the NBA on a night she was not even playing.
You can't admit, dog, I know Angel Reese about to turn her notifications off. Detroit Pistons fans called her out after her boyfriend, Wendell Carter Jr., just lost to her ex, Jalen Duren, after having a 3-1 lead and lost in Game 7. Damn! The Magic were up 3-1 and lost in Game 7? This guy's doing the belt thing. Damn. Oh, dang. You hate to see it. And of course, NBA Centel, they had to get in on the action.
But while her personal life was being weaponized on national television, her professional life was actively crumbling on the hardwood. Because the basketball story that took place on Saturday night against the Washington Mystics is the exact storyline that is going to completely define Angel Reese's upcoming season. The Atlanta Dream were playing their highly anticipated preseason debut at Gateway Center Arena. This was Reese's grand introduction to her new home city. This was her very first opportunity to show the Dream fanbase exactly what they acquired in a blockbuster trade that cost the franchise 2 highly valuable first-round draft picks. And instead of dominating, she ran headfirst into a defensive buzzsaw named Kiki Iriafen. If you do not know that name yet, you better write it down. The 6'3" sophomore forward from Stanford, who went number 2 overall in the draft, stepped onto the professional court playing with the hardened, ruthless mentality of a 10-year veteran enforcer. These two players have a documented physical history. Iriafen knocked Reese to the floor during Team USA camp, and they had physical altercations during fast breaks last season. On Saturday night, Iriafen made absolutely sure that their violent history continued. From the exact moment the referee tossed the opening tip, Iriafen attached herself to Reese like a shadow, initiating a form of physical warfare that completely shocked the arena.
All right. Angel Reese also did play yesterday. The Atlanta Dream versus the Washington Mystics. Kiki Iriafen balled out. Lauren Betts balled out. Lauren Betts, folks, between Lauren Betts and Olivia Miles, I have to watch a little bit more Olivia Miles, but the few games that I saw from Lauren Betts so far, that's Rookie of the Year right there. The Dallas Wings are going to look back at this draft and be like, damn, I really could have had a top 3 center in the league, and now I have one of the best role players in the league instead. Paige Becker's Lauren Betts pick and roll would have...
The specific sequence that entirely broke the internet happened in the second quarter. Angel Reese caught the basketball in the corner, setting up a pure isolation play against Iriafen. Reese immediately tried to play bully ball. She threw aggressive elbows, she lowered her shoulder, and she tried to use her sheer physical momentum to brutally carve out space in the painted area. And Kiki Iriafen did not move a single inch. She stayed perfectly vertical. She maintained a devastatingly low center of gravity, and she stood her ground like an absolute brick wall. When Reese finally gave up on the physical battle and tried to awkwardly go around her for a contested layup, Iriafen read the play perfectly and swatted the ball out of her hands with a block so incredibly emphatic and violent that Reese went crashing hard to the hardwood. The referee blew the whistle and called a foul on Iriafen for the body contact, sending Reese to the free throw line. But the damage was already permanently done. As Reese was being helped up off the floor, she looked directly into Iriafen's eyes and sarcastically clapped 3 times. She had fire in her eyes and defiance painted across her face, acting as if she had somehow won the physical exchange. But we all know the psychological truth of professional sports. She did not win the exchange. She got cleanly blocked. She got sent to the floor. She earned 2 free throws solely because Iriafen's body made contact, not because she executed a successful basketball move. The block was the definitive statement. The sarcastic clapping was nothing but pure, unadulterated psychological cope. When you resort to clapping at a defender who just humiliated you, you are implicitly admitting that they have completely gotten inside your head.
Right here, I want to pay attention to this. Kiki Iriafen just... Sheesh. Man, it's unfortunate because she worked very hard for that too. You know, Angel Reese worked very hard to get into position, off the baseline, all the way across the court,
And nobody in the mainstream media is talking about what the final, objective box score actually revealed. Let me give you the undisputed numbers. Kiki Iriafen finished the game with 11 points and 4 rebounds. Angel Reese finished with 10 points on an incredibly inefficient 3 of 7 shooting from the field. Iriafen's team won the game 83-72. The Mystics' sophomore completely outplayed, out-hustled, and out-defended the Dream's franchise trade acquisition on her very own home floor. And the fans watching the broadcast instantly noticed the massive talent discrepancy. The internet comments were absolutely ruthless. One fan wrote, "How is it year 3 and you are still getting swatted like a small guard?" Another pointed out the undeniable irony, stating she got blocked, stared down, and somehow ESPN still posted it as an Angel Reese highlight. The commentary was brutal, but it accurately touched on the one massive, glaring criticism that has haunted Angel Reese since her rookie year. Her offensive technique around the rim is still incredibly raw and underdeveloped.
Bet in 17 minutes, 15 points, an offensive rebound, 3 assists, 6 for 8 from the field, looking comfortable. Was this game going to be too physical for her? I don't think so. Up, throw it high, let me catch it over the top. Give me that, that's money. That's money.
This is where the tactical analysis becomes a nightmare for the Atlanta Dream. Angel Reese is 6'3", possessing a massive wingspan, yet she constantly gets blocked at the rim as if she is 5'8". Her footwork in the low post is wildly inconsistent. Her finishing ability at the basket lacks the refined craft, the soft touch, and the up and under counters that elite frontcourt players spend years developing. And Kiki Iriafen just exposed all of those fatal flaws in one viral, undeniable sequence. Because Iriafen knew with absolute certainty that Reese does not possess a reliable mid-range jump shot, she simply sagged off her on the perimeter, packed the paint, and waited for Reese to blindly charge into the defensive trap. Predictability is a fatal disease in the WNBA, and right now, Angel Reese is the most predictable offensive player in the entire league. Do not get me wrong, WNBA Pro gives credit exactly where credit is due. Angel Reese is a legitimate, high-level WNBA talent. She averaged 14.7 points and 12.6 rebounds per game last season. She is a 2-time All-Star and a historic rebounding champion. Her motor is genuinely relentless, and she brings a competitive intensity that very few athletes on Earth can match. We are not going to pretend she is a bad basketball player.
To get in on the action, throwing up some love in basketball. Wendell Carter Jr. went 13 and 5, 2 steals yesterday. Angel Reese, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Both of them shot the identical 3 of 7 from the field. You got the Detroit Times.
But in this league, being good is simply not enough when your front office expects you to be great. And greatness is exactly what the Atlanta Dream desperately need her to be after trading 2 highly valuable first-round draft picks to acquire her. When a general manager gives up that massive amount of draft capital, they are explicitly telling the fan base that this player is a franchise cornerstone. They are stating on the record that she can be the #1 option on a championship contending team. And right now, Reese is absolutely not showing that capability. She is showcasing the exact same offensive limitations that plagued her entire tenure in Chicago. The viral block by Kiki Iriafen was not a random fluke. It was a highly predictable pattern. And until Angel Reese fundamentally rebuilds her offensive mechanics, develops a reliable jump shot, and learns how to finish through elite rim protection, she is going to continuously get exposed by disciplined, athletic defenders who can match her raw physicality. Angel Reese is undeniably one of the most polarizing, culturally significant athletes in American sports right now. Everything she does generates global attention. Every word she speaks creates fierce debate. Every game she plays produces viral content. That magnetic presence is simultaneously her greatest financial asset and her heaviest psychological burden. Because when she is winning, that massive spotlight amplifies her success to the heavens. But when she is failing, when she is getting blocked by sophomores and her personal life is being mocked by 20,000 NBA fans on national television, that exact same spotlight magnifies her humiliation. The Atlanta Dream officially opened their regular season on May 10th against the Minnesota Lynx. That is exactly 6 days away. By the time that ball tips off, Angel Reese needs to have completely erased this agonizing 48 hours from her memory. She needs to let that humiliating block fuel her focus. She needs to completely ignore the deafening noise of the Pistons fans and the chaotic love triangle drama. And she needs to step onto the hardwood and prove to the city of Atlanta that those 2 first-round draft picks were actually worth the massive gamble. Because right now, the entire global narrative surrounding Angel Reese has absolutely nothing to do with winning basketball games. It is entirely about viral blocks, defensive exposure, sarcastic body language, and messy boyfriend drama. And that is the absolute last place a franchise player wants to be, just days before the most important season of her entire career begins. This is WNBA Pro. We refuse to sugarcoat the reality of this game. Smash that subscribe button right now if you want the absolute deepest, most uncompromising analysis that perfectly intersects hardcore basketball tactics with mainstream sports culture. Drop your raw, unfiltered take in the comments section below. Is Angel Reese vastly overhyped and about to cost the Atlanta Dream their future? Or is she going to use this humiliation to completely shut the haters up this season? We demand every single opinion down below. Hit that notification bell immediately because opening week is officially here. The drama has reached a boiling point, and we are covering every single team, every single game, and every single controversy.